UN priority will be to work through its operational missions, through UNICEF, who is in charge of women and children who are the most vulnerable and who are suffering the most in these days, to provide enough food, medicine, and shelter, so to the most vulnerable. And then step by step, UN will start its programs on development. So they will look at job creation, livelihoods, most probably cash transfers to families who are in immediate need of financial assistance, and they will build upon that with partnership from EU, from other agencies, to allow Afghanistan to grow back, maybe to catch up where it was before the crisis. But it is also very important, and unfortunately, we were all focusing on the security situation. The economic crisis in Afghanistan was already very, very bad before the August 15 power shift. Why? Firstly, because of COVID. It froze the economy for 18 plus months. The poverty level jumped from 55% of the population in 2019 to 72% of population in 2020. And now, most probably the predictions show that it will go up to 90s. So these are huge figures, and it's a very big challenge for the UN and other development and humanitarian agencies that they will be facing. So the security situation, as soon as it improves, humanitarian organizations will work with the local NGOs to provide help across the country and to the most vulnerable. So let's look at the history. The first Taliban rule in 1990s, UN stayed in the country. Other development agencies left, most of the embassies closed, but UN stayed as a loyal development partner and humanitarian partner. So this is the first and most important strength of UN. So this is some kind of loyalty. And as I understand, the request for help from the UN is already there. Maybe it's not official because the government is not formed yet, but the willing to work with UN and others, international community is there. If you read closely the press briefings from the Taliban leaders, you will probably understand this approach. How feasible it is in the immediate future. So immediate future, I mean next few days, because the liquidity crisis in the country is also another burden on the country. People cannot withdraw money, they cannot buy food and feed their children and so on and so forth. So this is very important. Another important issue is the drought. Several months, Afghanistan didn't get rain. And 70% of the Afghan GDP depends on agriculture. They are not completely food sufficient, self-sufficient. They import. They won't be able to import because the foreign reserves are frozen, so they don't have foreign exchange to import. Plus, the domestic production of agriculture is hit by this drought. So it is really emerging need to provide food and medication and so on and so forth. And this can only be possible through UN.
Right.
Again, the UN has this experience, this loyalty, this understanding, and contacts with local NGOs and volunteers and so on and so forth. This network is there.
Okay.
Plus, let me also highlight that we saw evacuation of different foreigners and so on and so forth. Of course, it's an alert, highest alert status for the UN staff. It means that both local staff and foreigners should shelter in place. They shouldn't travel, but the work is going on. So everybody is fully in office and operating from home and delivering on the projects and results that they have to deliver. So this is very important. The temporary evacuation of the foreign staff is only temporary, and they are all waiting with the suitcases ready to go back to Kabul when the situation allows it.
All right, Masham, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for